With the arrival of 2020, it's not only the end of the year, but it's the end of a decade, which means it's time we come up with the best of the decade series. There have been many films in the past decade that stand out, be it films with commercial appeal or with substance. I'll try my best to have a mixture of both. So here is Oak Film's view on the best films of the decade. 2010 was the year where subjects like farmer suicide, euthanasia, parental pressure were tackled. Even commercial films like Dabang, Houseful, Band Baja Barat, and many more had a lasting impression, but the film that stood out for me was Vikram Aditya Motwani's Udan. It's a sheer gem just for its performance and direction. It follows the story of Rohan, beautifully played by Rajat Brahmecha, who's forced to live with his oppressive father after being expelled from boarding school. The beauty of the film is in its script. It's a tightly written drama without any melodrama. Ronit Roy's portrayal of a controlling father is definitely the performance of the film. The troubled father-son relationship was beautifully carved and made the film an enriching experience. During the award season that year, the film was bestowed with many awards, and rightfully so. Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. You very well know that Zoya Akhtar's film will have a substance and variety, and Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara was no different. The film follows three childhood friends, Arjun, Kabir, and Imran, who reunite for a 3-week road trip in Spain, where each friend chooses a dangerous sport for the group to partake in. This film will always be remembered for Zoya's effort on scripting the journey of catharsis. All the three main leads, Ritik, Farhan, and Abhay, are brilliant. But what stands out for me is Ritik's metamorphosis from an uptight, money-minded stockbroker to a carefree, living in the moment and life-appreciating gent. It's one of his sincere and underrated performances. What you take home from the film is the memorable and amusing moments which we have shared with our own friends while growing up and still continue to do so. Trust me, guys, this film is definitely for ages to come. Madras Cafe. 2013 had films like Ship of Theseus, Bhag Milka Bhag, Lutera, Shahid, and many more. But the film that stood out for me was Madras Cafe. The film is set in the late 1980s and early 1990s during the time of Indian intervention in the Sri Lankan Civil War and assassination of former Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. It's India's best political film till date. It dives boldly into the terrain Bollywood hasn't touched before. See, Indian films make us believe that it is only Pakistan that we have to deal with. But Shrijit Sarkar touches base with Sri Lanka and unravels the complex Tamil problem, as many living north of the Vindhyas call it. Keeping the jingoistic flavor aside, he plays the game of shadows as it is played with all its muck and grime. Unlike in the West, it's hard to make a film on real-life political event in India. Political pressures and sensitive groups invariably throw a fit in the works, which is why it's commendable what director Shrijit Sarkar and producer-actor John Ibrahim have undertaken with Madras Cafe and rightfully deserve a place in the best film of the decade series. Talwar. Meghna Gulzar, daughter of genius Jagannath Gulzar, delivers a film with solid writing, sharp dialogues, and spot-on performances in Talwar. The film follows the investigation of a case from 3 different perspectives in which the parents are either guilty or innocent of the murder charges. The murder is being investigated by the local police, then the CBI, and followed by an investigation by a different CBI team. Irfan Khan's comic timing and commitment are admirable and probably the film's best weapon. The film definitely gets into your skin, challenges us, shakes us up about real-life incidents. Talwar's intention might be blunt, but as a piece of cinema, it's a sharp procedural. Aligarh. There are 2 kinds of script: performance-driven scripts and narrative-written scripts. Aligarh is a pure example of performance-driven script. Manoj Bajpayee has portrayed a riveting and nuanced performance that is as touching as it is powerful. It's a subtle, sensitive take on a controversial real-life court case involving the victimization of a gay college professor. Aligarh highlights the growing strength and diversity of Indian independent cinema. But more importantly, Aligarh is a milestone in the history of Indian cinema that should start the much needed conversation about how India treats a visible and yet often ignored minority group. Dangal. Making a best video series without Amir Khan is food without salt. Amir's film always make their way in this decade, and around this time it's Dangal. It was the highest Hindi film grosser of 2016. It's loosely based on Fogart family, where Hanikarak Bapu, Mahavir Fogart, trains his daughters to become India's first world-class female wrestlers. The film will always be remembered for its honest depiction of a real-life story and Khan's performance. Amir puts in such an earnest and inspired performance that it will go down in the history of Indian cinema as one of his finest. Even the actresses playing Geeta and Babita Fogart were brilliant. The film will also be remembered for the strong feminist statement about girls being the equal of boys, if not better, in an area they have never been seen, let alone accepted. What Dangal does best is it does not go for broke in terms of melodramatic flourish and refrains from demonstrative chest thumping and flag waving, but blends with humor with intensity and intimacy with spectacle to perfection. Razi. The second Meghna Gulzar film on the list and her best film till date. The film is an adaptation of Harinder Sika's 2008 novel Calling Sehmat, a true account of an Indian raw agent who, upon her father's request, willingly gets married into a family of military officials in Pakistan to relay information to India prior to Indo-Pak War in 1971. What's appreciative on Meghna's part is that she did not allow Razi to become a chest-thumping spectacle of jingoism, but made an intelligent thriller that asks us to consider concepts of patriotism and honor without spoon-feeding us with manipulative background music or provocative dialogues. Alia Bhatt steals the show in this spy thriller and gives her best performance till date. Razi is a rarity. It is intense, riveting, clever, dark, sad, lyrical, heartfelt, relevant, and understated. And that's it, guys. These are my topics of 2010 to 2019. Please share your feedback in the comment section and like the video. Show some love by subscribing to the channel, and let's get notified of the next video. Until next time, goodbye.